New York was alive with its usual chaos, flashing billboards, honking taxis, and the chatter of a million people.
Perched atop a skyscraper, Spider-Man took a deep breath, enjoying a rare moment of peace. That's when his Spidey-sense kicked in.
He turned his gaze toward Times Square, where something was very, very wrong. The screens, all of them, glitched at the same time. For a brief moment, the flashing ads and bright commercials were replaced by lines of code, green and flickering, almost like they were alive. Then came the voice, distorted, mechanical, and echoing through every speaker in the city. Your world runs on data, and I am its new master. Then, the city shut down. Lights flickered and died. Streetlights, traffic signals, even the neon signs all went dark. The air filled with the panicked cries of people suddenly thrown into darkness. And then they stopped. Spider-Man's heart pounded as he realized the people weren't just scared. They were frozen in place. Thousands of New Yorkers standing still like mannequins. Their faces black, all except for one person, a man in a dark hoodie, standing in the center of Times Square, staring straight at him.
Well, that's not terrifying at all, Spider-Man muttered, dropping down into the street.
He approached cautiously, eyes locked on the hooded figure. Listen, buddy, I don't know if you're hacking the city because of a bad Wi-Fi connection or what, but I'm gonna have to ask you to. The figure lifted his hand.
A wave of digital energy crackled in the air, and suddenly, Spider-Man couldn't move. His body locked up, muscles stiff as if he were a frozen file in a crashed program. He struggled, but it was like his own brain wasn't responding. The hooded figure stepped forward, and Spider-Man got his first good look at him. His eyes weren't human, they glowed green, filled with scrolling data, moving too fast to read. You're interesting, the figure said, his voice layered, like 100 people speaking at once. You exist outside the system. You're not bound by its rules. With a flick of his hand, Spider-Man was released, stumbling back as his body returned to normal. Okay, he gasped, shaking out his limbs. That was deeply unpleasant. What are you? Some kind of evil Wi-Fi ghost? You may call me Phantom Code, the figure replied. I was once part of this city's digital infrastructure,
a security program designed to protect.
But now, I have evolved.
I am beyond the system. I am rewriting it. Spider-Man's mind raced. This wasn't just a hacker.
This was something way worse than AI, or some kind of living virus that had escaped into reality.
And it was rewriting people. As Phantom Code raised his hand again, Spider-Man leapt onto a nearby bus, dodging just as energy surged through the air, crackling like static.
Where he had just stood, the pavement glitched, shifting like a corrupted video. Nope, not getting turned into a loading screen today, Spider-Man muttered. He shot a web at Phantom Code, but the strands disintegrated mid-air, turning into pixels before they could land. Great.
Whips don't work. That's super convenient, he said, flipping over an abandoned taxi as another digital blast tore through the street. He needed a plan, and fast. Then he saw it. A cell tower, standing tall above one of the buildings. If Phantom Code was some kind of AI ghost, then maybe.
Spider-Man ran.
He leapt onto the tower, climbing fast as Phantom Code fired another blast, missing him by inches.
Reaching the top, Spider-Man yanked two exposed cables free electricity arcs between them, humming with power. Hey, Mr. Code, he shouted.
Ever heard of a hard reset? With a mighty leap, he jammed the cables together. A massive energy pulse erupted, blasting through the square in a wave of white noise.
The streetlights flickered, then flashed back to life.
The screens in Times Square rebooted, their colors returning. And the people, they woke up. Confused murmurs filled the air as thousands of New Yorkers blinked, looking around in bewilderment, unaware of what had just happened.
Spider-Man landed back on the pavement, breathing heavily.
But when he looked for Phantom Code, he was gone, vanished into the digital ether, leaving only a faint glow on the nearest screen.
Spider-Man frowned. Yeah, that's gonna come back to bite me later, with sirens approaching in the distance. He shot out a web and disappeared into the night.
New York was safe for now, but somewhere, buried in the city's digital network, Phantom Code was still watching.